Imagine this. You're heading home after a long day at the office. You step into the elevator with two coworkers you barely know. The doors slide shut. The car lurches ... and then stops. Complete, dead silence. The lights flicker, then die, plunging you into darkness. This isn't just a breakdown. This is the beginning of a nightmare. This is exactly what happens to Mark, Sarah, and David. At first, it's just an inconvenience. They crack a few jokes, press the emergency button, and wait. But minutes stretch into an hour, then two. The air grows thick and heavy. The initial awkward silence gives way to forced conversation, a desperate attempt to ignore the rising panic. They talk about their jobs, their weekend plans, anything to keep the creeping dread at bay. But as the hours crawl by, the small talk dries up, and the polite masks begin to slip. It starts with Mark. He's the quiet one from accounting, always keeps to himself. Trying to lighten the mood, Sarah asks him what he's so eager to get home to. Mark hesitates, then confesses he's been borrowing from company funds. Not a lot, just enough to cover some debts. He swears he was going to pay it all back, but the confession hangs in the air, heavy and suffocating. Suddenly, he's not just Mark from accounting. He's a man with a desperate secret, and the confines of the elevator suddenly feel a lot more threatening. The trust, fragile as it was, shatters. Now the atmosphere is charged with suspicion. Sarah, a high-flying marketing executive, tries to regain control. She's used to being in charge, to solving problems. But here, she's powerless. The frustration eats at her, and she starts lashing out. She accuses David, the new intern, of not trying hard enough to pry the doors open. David, who's been mostly silent, finally snaps. He reveals that he didn't just get this internship by chance. He knew Sarah's password. He'd seen emails she thought were private emails that detailed how she sabotaged a colleague to get her last promotion. The elevator car, once a neutral space, is now a pressure cooker of secrets and lies. Each person looks at the others with new eyes, filled with accusation and fear. Who are these people, really? The darkness is no longer empty. It's filled with their shared guilt. The friendly faces they saw every day at the office have been stripped away, revealing something much more unsettling underneath. They're trapped not just by four metal walls, but by the ugly truths they've just unearthed about each other. As paranoia takes root, their minds start playing tricks on them. A normal creak of the building settling becomes a scratching sound from outside the doors. A flicker of the emergency light casts a shadow that looks like a figure standing in the corner. David swears he saw the numbers on the floor indicator change, even though the elevator hasn't moved an inch. Sarah is convinced she can hear whispering, faint and menacing, just beyond the sound of their own ragged breathing. Is it just their frayed nerves, or is something else in here with them? Mark, overwhelmed by guilt and fear, starts to unravel completely. He begins talking to himself, his whispers growing more frantic. He claims he sees a face in the polished steel of the doors, a distorted, grinning face that's not a reflection of any of them. He presses himself into a corner, eyes wide with terror, pointing at an empty space and screaming that it is getting closer. Sarah and David try to calm him down, but his panic is contagious. They start to see things too, a flicker of movement, a shape in the shadows. The line between reality and hallucination blurs completely. The question is no longer, when will we be rescued? But what is in here with us? Is the threat the other people in the elevator, the ones whose dark secrets are now exposed? Or is there a fourth presence, something truly malevolent, drawn to their fear and deceit? The sinister force seems to feed on their paranoia, growing stronger with every terrified gasp and accusing glare. They are no longer just coworkers. They are prey, trapped in a metal box with their own demons, and perhaps something far, far worse. The final hour is a descent into sheer madness. The scratching sound from outside the doors grows louder, more rhythmic, like claws methodically scraping against metal. Inside, the three are completely broken. Accusations fly, turning into desperate, primal screams. They are no longer fighting the confinement, but each other. In their terror, they can't distinguish between the real threat and the one they've manufactured in their minds. Each shadow holds a monster, and every person is a potential enemy. And then, just as suddenly as it began, it ends. A loud clang echoes through the shaft. The main lights flicker back on, and the elevator jolts downwards, landing safely at the lobby. The doors slide open, revealing the bright, normal world they left behind. Confused building staff and emergency services rush forward. But the three who emerge are not the same people who stepped in. They stumble out, hollow-eyed and silent, avoiding each other's gaze. They can't explain what happened. Was it just a shared psychotic break brought on by stress and fear? Or did they truly encounter something sinister in that malfunctioning elevator? They'll never know for sure. But as they walk away, they can't help but glance back at the darkness of the empty elevator, forever haunted by the secrets it held and the terror it unleashed. What do you think really happened in that elevator? Was it all in their heads, or was a supernatural force at play? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tales that will make you question reality. See you next time.